Sportscast. December 7th, 2018. College football, Liberty football has a new coach. His name is Hugh Freeze. Used to be the coach in Mississippi. And this is big news for Liberty. I mean, they're moving forward. They're definitely going to the next level. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And to join us to talk to us a little bit about it, to elaborate more about this news, is Ryan Christa. Welcome to the Sportscast.
Santiago, thank you very much. As a Liberty graduate and a fan for many, many years, going to games as a student, you know, it's an exciting time to be a Liberty sports fan. Just kind of, you know, not necessarily shocked by the news today, but, you know, I heard it coming along the lines, you know, after Turner Gill retired, beginning of the week, you know, the names pop up and you hear Hugh Freeze and, you know, you're talking about a guy who was extremely successful at Ole Miss, changed the culture there, but, you know, ran into some tough times in several different ways, you know, when, you know, they had to get rid of him, you know, and he's looking to get back on his feet, and, you know, they're at Liberty University, so, you know, and I also want to give a shout-out to Turner Gill and the accomplishments he had here at Liberty. When there's 2-year transition period from the FCS to the FBS, he did quite well, you know, kept the program on track, you know, winning 6 games this year in your first year, only done by 12 other teams in the transition period. So that's quite a thing for Turner. You know, didn't always reach the potential of the team under Turner Gill, but, you know, they were always a steady competitor. They're good for, you know, 1 or 2 upsets a year under Turner Gill.
It's quite an accomplishment. How significant is this hire? Will this, I mean, how much of a step up is that, is this from, like, the previous coaches?
Well, he's a guy who's been around in the SEC, and if it wasn't for his off-the-field position, he's probably still there. This guy led one of the most prolific offenses we've ever seen in college football. Had really great teams, you know. This is a guy who's beat Nick Saban 2 years in a row, you know. Not many coaches can say that, Santiago.
No, not at all. Like, how long have you been hearing? How long have you been hearing about this rumor about him getting hired?
So here's a little brief history. You know, back in last school year for college, you know, during one of the conversations at Liberty, you know, Hugh Freeze made a public apology for his missteps. He came forward with his mistakes, you know. So it's kind of a unique that he went to Liberty and used the, you know, convocation as a platform to ask for, you know, forgiveness from his wife, but also from, you know, the nation, you know. It's a unique situation, so, you know, that he went and did at Liberty, but, you know, not many people really thought too much about that, but, you know, and you never knew how long Turner Gill was going to be around for. You know, there's always rumors, you know, with the new athletic director this last year that he was looking to make a big splash. But actually, how this came about was Sunday, you know, after the season was over, you know, that him and the athletic director sat down, and the athletic director offered him a 2-year extension, and then he came out and said, you know, I'm something there, I'm actually going to retire. And it blew everybody out of the water, you know, so they're scrambling, and then you hear these names, you know, Hugh Freeze, you know, Brandon Streeter, who was one of the offensive coaches at Clemson, who was our former offensive coordinator at Liberty. You know, some bigger names, you know, but you really have no idea what direction they're going. But as, you know, the week goes on, you know, Hugh Freeze is a candidate not just for the Liberty head coach, but he's an offensive coordinator candidate at Auburn, Tennessee, and Alabama. He's been linked to them, those jobs, you know, and So it's hard to believe that he wouldn't take those jobs where he's successful. He's probably coaching at one of those Power 5 schools before you know it. I think his desire is always to be a head coach. So, this is a great opportunity at a place that will hold him accountable for his actions. And it'll be interesting, that there's mixed reviews. Is this a stepping stone job where he just wants to get his name out there, prove to everybody that he can stay, clean and legit and be successful? Or is he really going to be a long-term solution here at Liberty? But, for the short term, there's a good move for both parties.
Yes. Can you explain to the audience what was his issues in the past? What was his previous sins?
Well, it's kind of twofold here. So there was either the 2012 or 13. Ole Miss has always been, an average SEC school, but all of a sudden, he comes and his second or third recruiting class, it just skyrockets to be one of the, top recruiting classes in the country, which sends out a lot of warning signals, like how is he getting all these, best recruits and future NFL stars. So, time goes on, he's denying a lot of stuff. And now the NCAA, because of some, if you remember there's a couple of issues, on a bowl trip, you had a player, smoking marijuana and going out of a hotel room, and then you had on draft day, you had one of their players, their video releasing him releasing a photo of him, smoking marijuana and a mask. It was really bizarre, because, so the NCAA kind of investigates all this stuff, and, along with investigating it, they find, in his phone records, university finds out, too, that, he's been calling escort services.
Wow.
He gets, and along with that, and then Ole Miss gets placed on, several-year probation, denying all this. So he's let him, saying he's getting blackmailed because he's not getting any other jobs because Ole Miss saying this. There's kind of a mess going on there, So he had that going on off the field, while on the field they had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Going to the New Year's Six bowl game, winning 10 games, a bunch of times. He's got an eye for talent, and I think coming to Liberty, you're not going to get, obviously, access to the best players like he got at Ole Miss, but, his name alone and getting players to NFL will draw a lot of people to Liberty.
That is correct. And, back to what you were saying, he's beaten Nick Saban. He has the exposure. He
beat him at home, and then the next year he comes and goes to Alabama and really dismantles them. It was a close game in the end, but really he was up by 20-plus points in the second half. You just never see Nick Saban beaten like that. And, his offense is very innovative. Maybe a lot of people are running type of the offense now, but, he doesn't have the time when it comes to up-tempo, fast-paced offense.
Yeah, looking back at, so far Liberty has had 9 coaches in total. They went to Rocco. Rocco, took us to the next level. Gil took us to the next level. And I think Frazee is the right guy. It feels like he will have more wins under Liberty's belt. And looking at their schedule, the biggest game I see right now is Syracuse for next year. Syracuse.
Oh, Santiago, that is going to be such a big game in Liberty's history.
Yeah.
You have an ACC team. This is our first year that we're, quote-unquote, eligible for a bowl game. So, we got But so this is really a coming out party. So you have a brand new coach, a big name coach. We got a lot of spotlight on alone on our program, and now you're bringing an ACC team that won 9 games this year. It's probably the second best team in the ACC this year behind Florida State. And they're coming to our house to start the season. That is huge, Santiago.
So, yeah, besides Syracuse, they play the Raging Cajuns. They play Buffalo. They play Hampton, New Mexico State, Maine, Rutgers, UMass, BYU. Big game. And Virginia. Virginia is also a big game for next year, and New Mexico State. How many wins do you think Liberty might get next year?
Yeah, they got 6 this year. I was, talking with another fellow Liberty sports fan that I saw earlier today, and, somebody who's close to the program, when we, I'd say 7, 8 wins is probably the maxing out. Getting the Game of 7 and getting to a bowl game next year would ultimately be the goal. But there's a lot of tough. We're still in growing, but we pains a little bit. But the amount of offense we have coming back, Santiago, this could be, in a new offense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential. Stephen Buckshot Culver and Antonio Sandy Golden. We have a transfer of Josh Mack at running back made. It's the sky's the limit for the offense. It's, whether the defense can stop, it's going to shoot. But it's definitely going to be exciting games down in Williams Stadium next year for the Flames.
You think we'll able to get like SEC type of players? Do you think he'll get some recruiters that have SEC recruiting experience and, put it into Liberty's program? Is that a huge possibility?
Like players or coaches?
Players. I mean, you're not going to get any. You're not going to get any 4 or 5 stars. We're not at that point of our program. No matter who the coach is, but you're going to, you're going to get a guy, who may have big time offers. He's a 3-star. And we can, he may instead of being buried on the depth chart and then look him off. Yeah, it is a work in progress.
So we have facilities. Our facilities are right up there. Not necessarily with Power 5 programs, but they're up there with with the other group of 5 programs. Our facilities are great. Our stadium is expanding. Our indoor practice field is great. It's those little tools right there separate us from the other mid-majors group of 5 programs.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, I think, and we'll see how far Liberty goes. I think they're in the right steps. Do you think we should join a conference in the near future?
I think we're getting. You look at the future, and every year as an independent, every year is an adventure with games. Games are scheduled years in advance. Some years you have great home games, some years you got to go on the road. So we talk about Syracuse. So what we do, we host Syracuse this year. We got to go to Syracuse twice. So a lot of these games, if you want a home game against Virginia Tech, you got to go there probably twice as many times as they come to your place. It's just how it works. But you don't have the option. Once you join a conference, you're stuck with 7, 8, 9 games conference season, so at least only a couple of games in my conference. So you have not as much opportunity to bring in those, big name teams. I don't think we're not at that position then to go to Virginia and say, we'll play you one time here and then we'll go there one time. It's just not where it is. So having the freedom to have 12 non-conference games allows us to go and make some of these deals. It's tough though. It's tough to find. There's only 5 independents. Us, Army, Notre Dame, BYU, and UMass, in New Mexico State. So it's, obviously we're not in a position to play Notre Dame right now, and that's something that probably will happen in the future. But, we got games with the rest of those independents. So it's kind of like almost like a conference bonus. But, so you're at the expense of other programs in the country to find games. It'll be easier for scheduling purposes to get games, but you may not get those marquee home games if you join a conference.
And there you have it. Liberty has hired Hugh Freeze, big-time coach in the SEC, the guy who beat Nick Saban.
No, let me ask you, as just a Liberty graduate, and I told you, the past of Hugh Freeze, what is your opinion?
No, I believe in redemption. I believe in forgiveness. And, he shared his testimony or his story back in February. So I really think, I really believe in of course, second chances. And I trust Liberty's leadership, to make this to make this decision. It's tough, but I'm sure they took time, and I think they made a good. And I trust it. So, obviously, will he do it again? I really doubt it at Liberty. So, I think he's good.
Yeah, I assume they're going to put, a lot of eyes are going to be on him and the university. I think there'll be, the checks and balances on every move he makes.
Yeah.
So they will, this is a big move for Liberty. I think in the next 24 hours, you're going to see a lot of the national media, your typical, left, more left-centered to left going to attacking Liberty. But I think as you get closer to the season, it's all going to be about football. And, this coach will, better our program.
Yeah, it will.
Gamble, because, if this blows up, this doesn't just affect the football program. This affects the reputation of the school.
It does.
So it was definitely, so this is definitely a risk, They've got two wild cards out there, Santiago. Last year they hired Hugh McCall from Baylor, who,
was also a controversial figure, too.
So that's a controversial move, and now you bring in this. So, we've got a lot of spotlight up in Santiago. And
hey, sometimes you need it.
We're an easy target from the national media to pick on. So I'm hoping these guys will build up the reputation of Liberty and not bring us down. Because, what they've done beyond their issues has been amazing. You look at Baylor pre-Ian McCall to Baylor when he left. If you take away the scandal, you've got one of the most amazing football stadiums that was built on campus. You've got a basketball program that's always going to the tournament, and then you've got a football team that would. I know it came with issues, and I'm sure they did their due diligence hiring him, but he knows how to build, an athletic program. So we have trust in him.
Wow.
And now we're putting our trust in Hugh Freeze. We just hope that these moves only build the reputation of Liberty, not tear it down, or even tear down the students and faculty, that it doesn't split us. Moves like this, you come with, it's got to be calculated, and I'm sure, Jerry and all the other people, officials within the university really, praying that it doesn't come without risk, that's for sure.
Yeah. I really trust the leadership, and I'm sure they have a lot of checks and balances, and they have a good PR team. So, and Liberty is already in the spotlight itself, so there's nothing new in that scenario.
Yeah, but when we're talking about independent schools, like we're talking about UMass, Army, again, Army's kind of in a different boat. If you take out UMass, New Mexico State, and us. We're in a much better position than those two other teams because we
Yeah.
in those, BYU, in order, kind of Army is, they're kind of a whole different boat, because it's Army. And BYU kind of, has a great history of football. They're kind of treated not as high as Notre Dame, but they're mixed between a group of five and a power five, So, then they have a 60,000 seat stadium that's almost completely filled every game. So they're kind of in a different company than us. It'll be interesting to see how we compare on the field in the next couple of years when we play them. But
yeah,
we're going to be able to separate ourselves, I think, from UMass and New Mexico State definitely in the next couple. We've had games for years with those teams. So, and I think we will probably win the majority, if not all, those games in the coming years against those teams because we're separate. Well, we're having difficulty, beating the BYU and Army in the games. But, building that spotlight, all goes well, will probably lead us to getting an invitation from either Conference USA or Central Conference.
There you have it. Ryan Christa. Hugh Freeze is the new Liberty football head coach. There'll be a press conference today at 2 p.m. at Williams Stadium, I believe. So there should be some stream somewhere on Twitter or on YouTube. And
usually after you go to libertyflames.com, they stream all their press conferences from the website. But yeah, it's going.
This is great. This is huge.
Again, if we're going to handle this 24-hour news cycle blasting, we might be, from writers, we'll be okay.
I mean, will this be on SportsCenter?
It will probably be mentioned on SportsCenter. It won't be this conference won't be aired on it, but it will definitely. Because you think about this weekend, you got one college football game and it's Army, Navy, and you have the Heisman Trophy. So it's not a big college football weekend.
So it's like the best week to announce it.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of attention. It's bad. Bad press better than no press. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
Exactly. Anyways,
it's important to get this hire going. If you really take a look at the college football calendar, December 19th is an extremely important day in the college football calendar because that's the first signing day you can sign recruits. So now he's got, 12 days to kind of finish putting together a recruiting class and try to get as many of these guys signed.
I'm sure he knew about this weeks before. I got a feeling he knew about this weeks before.
I don't, Santiago, pretty much everybody, every athletic director has got a little list in their top drawer. If if there's a coaching change, here's the people I'm going to talk to. And I think, he knew if Turnerville ever left that he would be one of the, candidates, And I think that's why he never really hopped on these offensive coordinator jobs when even earlier last week when they were offered because he was just kind of hoping that, another head coaching job would be open for him. So.
Wow. Well, Ryan, time is running out for me, but let's go straight to predictions. Are you ready?
Let's go for it.
Navy at Army.
Oh, I'm a big Middies guy. They don't have a great season so far. A 2-game losing streak in this series, but let's go Army go Navy beat Army.
All right. The Panthers at the Browns.
The Panthers need this game. The Browns are kind of, out of playoff contention right now, so let's go Panthers.
Big game. No Kareem Hunt. Ravens at the Chiefs.
Big game for, the Ravens are starting to holding on to that last playoff spot. The Chiefs, even without Kareem Hunt, they still scored 40 points last week. We really don't even know who's playing quarterback yet for the Ravens right now. Most likely, it looks like it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Oh, it has to be.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Chiefs win at home. The Colts at the Texans.
Texans are hotter than Texas chili, so let's go to the Texans.
I know, everyone's talking about the Texans, maybe the fourth best team in the AFC. The Dolphins, the Pats at the Dolphins.
The Dolphins really need this game if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. Pats are rolling right now. Typical Patriots form.
Healthy in December.
I'm going to go
Patriots? I lost you. I really lost you, Ryan. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, Giants at the Skins.
Let's go Giants. Playing well. Playing better.
The Falcons at the Pack.
Both teams are, having tough weeks. Packers just fired their coach. They probably get a little bit of rejuvenation from that. Let's go Packers.
Jets at the Bills.
Sam Darnold coming back to play this week against rookie Josh Allen.
Ooh.
These teams played 3 weeks ago, and there's Josh McCown versus Matt Barkley. It's in Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Playing well, playing better.
Can I call it like the Rookie Bowl?
It could be, Josh Allen, 2 weeks back-to-back 100-yard rushing from a quarterback.
I did not know he could run.
He's not very active right now, but he's running like a runner. Yeah.
Yeah. The Broncos at the Niners in Levi Stadium.
Broncos on 3-game winning streak. Just lost their top receiver, though. Lost their cornerback for most of the year. It kind of evens up this game, but the Broncos have something to play for, so let's go Broncos.
The Broncos on a 4th-game winning streak. The biggest game of the weekend, people are saying Eagles at the Cowboys.
Well, it means the most right now. Playoff implication. Cowboys are playing so well. How could you say no? Let's go Cowboys.
Rams at the Bears.
Beautiful Sunday Night Football at Soldier Field. 2 great teams. Mitch Trubisky coming back to play, but I'm still going with the best offense, I think, in football, and that's the Rams.
And Monday Night Football, the Vikings at the Seahawks.
This is important because both teams are hanging on to the playoff hopes. I'm going to go with, the Seahawks are home, tough place to play. Let's go Seattle.
And who will win the Heisman this weekend?
This might be the closest competition of them all, Santiago. You tell anybody a month ago Tua had it, but Kyler's playing so well. But no.
And if he wins, I predict he'll enter the NFL draft.
I don't know, Santiago. He's got $5 million waiting for him to at least try baseball. So.
And random question, when was the last time you went to the movie theater?
Oh, I went to the movie theater, I think it was end of July. I saw Mamma Mia 2.
Okay, in July. Me too. I think the last time I went was in July. I watched the Jurassic Park Part 2 one, like the new one. So.
Well, it's life with a toddler. We don't get to the movie theaters very often.
Exactly. Movie theaters are not overrated. It's just time-consuming, and you just forget about it sometimes. But anyways, Ryan, how can people reach you and talk about Liberty football?
Oh, I'm Mad Dog Report 18 on Twitter. All right, I'm looking, reading up a lot of stuff. I'll be talking about that. Bowl season coming up, and then the playoff push for the NFL, and the NBA is always interesting.
NBA is always interesting. Late breaking news: Hugh Freeze will meet with the team at 1 p.m. before the press conference, so he can tell everyone in person and then do the press conference. Ryan, I gotta go. I'll see you next week. Thanks for coming on to the Sportscast.
Thank you, Santiago. Love being here. I love you, Mindy and Clay. Bye-bye.